What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Uh, 50 Cent has issued basically a warning to Floyd Mayweather. Well, Floyd recently did an interview, FaceTime interview with someone, I forgot whose host it was, and they kept asking him about 50 Cent and that situation, and he discussed it and said basically 50 Cent and him, 50 wanted half of his company and all of these things here. So 50 put out a post saying, like stop using his name for publicity on like a press tour or whatever, for a publicity stunt or whatever. He said, please get somebody to read this to the champ and said, look, I don't F with you. You don't F with me. Okay? Like, leave it alone. Like, let's move on. Like, leave it at that. So, it's a very different situation. But Fifth is really like at the point now where he's just like issuing a warning. Like, I would leave this alone. Like, if I was you, I'd be leaving this alone. Well, Fifth is somebody that's very volatile if he's pushed. Floyd is somebody who's never backed down for anything, but it's a situation I don't like to see because knowing both people, now I'm not like I know Floyd way more than I know 50. I've met 50. That's the difference. Floyd I know, so it's different. But being around Fifth, same thing. You know how someone thinks. I know how he thinks, and he definitely is at the point of sending out this is a warning. Like we've had this problem before, and you know, Pete Rilla got touched up. So it is what it is. We just keep it moving. But I seen all the attention and finger waving and people pointing and all that stuff was happening. So yeah, we were aware of all the situations that was arising because of the uh 50 Cent and oh man, nobody cares about this, man. I mean, really it's a situation where 50 is concentrating on power and his $150 million deal he got with stars. What he want to do is mimic what's happening with the Marvel universe. He wants to make that a reality in this universe and make it okay. We did that with Marvel. Now let's get this going with the television shows. We can do the same thing. Television shows can do the same thing as Marvel. You know, the CW has had success doing it and opening these shows with like Supergirl and Arrow started it really, and then it kept expanding. You saw the success of the Flash and all of these shows on the CW end up taking off, and doing wonderful things. And there you can even determine and decipher the fanship, as what would people liked as far as the shows, what they watched. And Arrow was the one that pretty put everything in perspective. And you could see all these other people who were there who ended up working on other shows, they had these ideas, and 50 from watching this decided I could do this with power and just make spinoffs. And every character can have their own story develop into a new situation for them with all new characters or some returning characters. And then they might return back to the city, and do something, But as far as Floyd right now is doing things that don't concern 50. 50 is doing things that don't concern Floyd, and neither one needs to be around each other. There's no need. I mean, all right, I've heard rumors that 50 is gonna expose Floyd because he knows where the bodies are hidden, all the skeletons and stuff. But if he was to do that, he'd be exposing himself as well. There's situations people don't know anything about, but he would be exposing himself more than they probably would be exposing themselves. Then, on top of that, it's all these, I guess, people were sending 50 Cent information on Floyd, like ex girlfriends and all this stuff. So it's just, it's just what women do. They do things like that, or former employees that, he had to let go. And it's hard, man, when you got so much money and you got all these people's lives all entangled with each other and they depend on you for a living. It creates uncomfortableness. And you're not comfortable with it because everybody else is like weirdos. And that's what this turns into, a weirdo situation. Oh, and Jack, I got your Cash App, but I think something you did wrong on your side. I didn't decline it, so it came through in like different formats, and I guess you were trying to have send it and had some problems with it. I got it the first time, and then I think it went away. Then it came back again. I don't know, but I'm letting you know, Jack. It's in there now. Thank you for the Cash App. Hopefully it stays and no action is due on my part. So just letting you know he sent it, and for the rest of you, yes. My Cash App is Carcino, Carceno. Now 50 is working on the premiere of a whole new series, which is the BMF series that people been waiting on for so long. But this is why, sometimes you don't mention a show, but they wanted to build the public's interest and they threw it out there once they got the approval because it takes so long to make a show happen because you have to get the money and get people, you will believe in it, but you want to get all these other smart individuals together so they could also believe in your vision, if that makes sense. So hopefully you all have hit the like button without me having to tell you, and you liked everything you heard so far, and you subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon as every day something new and explosive hits. So I never know what it's going to be, or we just might be having fun that day and doing trivia and stuff. So, you never know. That's why it's always good to stay subscribed.